Today we are having Paras Ahuja with us, and as you all people know, Paras needs no introduction now. Paras is ranked 2 in Himachal Pradesh Judicial Services, and Paras, we are so delighted to have you on this online session today with A Plus Law Academy. So, as far as Paras is concerned, now she has demonstrated an exemplary dedication towards her preparation, and now she is a role model for all the future aspirants whosoever are now targeting the judicial services, and specifically with respect to Himachal, because she has cracked Himachal judiciary in her first attempt. Her achievements are not only her individual, rather, it is basically what we find that now it is an inspiration to all of us, that all the persons whosoever are there in this session and all the other persons who are looking at Paras, that how this girl has cracked HP Judicial Services in a very short span of time. So all the aspirants are joining me, and I am extending my warm welcome to Paras Ahuja today. Paras, we are honored to have you on here, and we look forward to have an insightful and enriched session today. And all the persons who are there in this session, they will be having certain doubts, certain confusions, certain kind of things like how to prepare, what kind of sources we have to opt when it is with respect to the judiciary preparation. So, first of all, I would like to have you on the floor, and you may give your basic introduction, though you are not required to give so, but yes.
Yes, sir. So thank you for that lovely introduction, and thank you so much for all the kind words. And so, sir, talking about my background, I am a resident of District Panchkula, and I have most of my education I've done from Chandigarh, and after that, for my graduation, I had gone to Jodhpur, and I graduated in 2022. And after that, I was preparing for judiciary exams. Though I began preparation around my fourth year, so I was dedicated towards judiciary preparation since my fourth year, and I am very happy that finally it has come to an end.
So, Paras had started her preparations for judiciary in the last year of her graduation, like I believe in the year 2021. Yes.
Like 2022, I began it, but rigorously in 2021. Yes, sir.
Yes. So, and you graduated in the year 2022, and
Yes,
from
sir.
that particular time, you were only targeting judicial services only.
Yes.
So, Paras, in the meanwhile, as we know that this is the first attempt of Himachal Judiciary, you have cracked it. But I would like to ask you one question: that had you given any other state judiciary exams prior to this?
Yes, sir. No, sir, I
Uh,
haven't given. No, sir, I haven't
you,
given any other state tradition. This was
you
my
have
first exam.
This was your
Yes.
first, like first prelims, first mains, and first interview.
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, you're right.
okay, great, great. So it is a very proud moment, है ना? Like
Yes,
you are preparing, you are a student, and the day on which the results come out, and you are now being the vision of the society, the eyes which are looking you like you are a student, and those eyes are now turning on the point that now this lady is a civil judge. So, Paras, just tell all of these aspirants whosoever are now listening you that what kind of that moment is when you see the results.
so it is, first of all, it is disbelief and relief. जब result देखते हैं तो विश्वास नहीं होता that such a huge change has taken place in our life, and you can't believe that okay, finally it has, you have achieved what you wanted to. So there is, it takes some time for a person to process the change that will follow. और सर बहुत रिलीफ भी होता है, बिकॉज तब तक जब तक रिजल्ट नहीं आता तब तक ऐसे होता है कि पढ़ते रहते हैं, कोई नेक्स्ट एग्जाम आएगा वो देना है. बट व्हेन द रिजल्ट कम्स, it's a moment of relief and one feels just very much at peace, sir. I remember जब रिजल्ट आया तो सबसे पहले मैंने अपने पापा को फोन किया, and then like I went to my mother, my sister. So sir, it's just so much happiness and relief and also disbelief, I would say,
So,
when we see the
so
result.
when the moment the results came out and you called up your father,
Yes,
so what
sir.
was the first words of your father?
Sir, he was like, so kuch words nahi, jaise पापा बोलते वाह वाह. So he was like that. He was just very happy. And फिर पापा से वो 1 minute बात करके I rushed downstairs to my mother, and then my mother was like, sometimes it's not just the words, it's the expressions and the
Yes,
feelings
yes,
that you
because
see.
this moment cannot be expressed in the
Yes,
words. Like the tears of joy are there. Like
yes, sir.
finally, this girl who is preparing so rigorously, with so dedication, so much desperation with respect to the cracking of the exam, and finally, this girl has
Yes,
done it. Yes. So it is a very proud moment for us, very proud moment that yes, you had finally cracked it. So I remember like I think you had enrolled with us for the prelims and the mains test
yes,
papers
sir.
and all, right from the time when the notification came out. Am I
Yes,
right?
yes,
The
sir. For the
moment the
prelims and the
notification,
mains, yes, sir.
yes,
Yes,
yes. So from that, since that day, you were there with us, and you were continuously preparing, and it is now that finally we have achieved. Finally, we had achieved that. It happens ना कि बहुत बार ऐसा कहा जाता है that when we will arrive, क्योंकि हमें एक पहचान मिलना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है, and a girl who had graduated from National Law University from Jodhpur, and she was preparing, and finally when the results came out, it appears like okay, I had arrived now.
yes,
ठीक है?
sir.
So,
Yes,
so,
sir.
so that
Absolutely.
that that moment is not comparable, but I believe that moment is not comparable with any other joy which you are getting in your life.
Absolutely, sir. Sir, because judiciary preparation or any other preparation that we are doing, so हम इतनी देर तक पढ़ते जाते हैं, but we don't see tangible results for a very long time. हम
Exactly.
पढ़ते जा रहे हैं, and finally when we see something tangible and something, a result in a proper form, so sir, that feeling is, there's a lot of satisfaction, and there's also a lot of gratitude one feels for nature,
Exactly.
that we finally
So,
reached our
so,
destination.
Paras, let us start with the things for which all the aspirants are waiting. That when you were of the view that okay, now I want to be a judicial officer, I want to crack this particular exam. So you have this thought process during your university semester itself.
Sir, so till my third year, I was not sure what I wanted to do further. And it's towards the end of my third year that after my internships and all that, I got the clarity that I want to go for judicial services. So, sir, around the end of my third year, I got that clarity.
Okay, after, as you said that after the third year was over, you were of
Yes.
the view that now I want to crack this paper. So, do any states you had targeted, like these are the states which I am going to target?
Sir, so I had in mind Haryana, HP, and Delhi, these three states, because these have a very similar pattern, wherein in mains we are provided bare acts, and the questions are more or less along the lines of analytical questions, as
Yes.
opposed to states like, say, Rajasthan, MP. So these three states I had clubbed together, and these are also close to my home. So these were the three states I was primarily targeting.
So, Himachal, Haryana, and Delhi. So, because
Yes,
you also belong from Panchkula, and
yes,
the states are the nearby states, you can approach
yes,
easily.
sir.
Okay, very good, very good. So, Paras, when you started your preparation, your journey, so what was the first thing you did? Like, okay, now I want to do this. So this is the first step.
So when I made up my mind that I want to go for judiciary preparation, so first of all, I searched on the internet that what were the strategy that toppers followed for judiciary preparation. I talked to few seniors from my college who had cracked this examination, others for other states as well. So just to understand that how did they prepare, what was the book list they referred to, and what was their strategy. So I talked to some toppers, I listened to a lot of topper videos, and that was the first thing that I did.
Okay, so then I believe that you will be there for checking out the syllabus of different
Yes,
states,
sir. Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
you were doing like, okay, these subjects are common, these subjects are somewhere different in every state. Like this is the basic thing what the aspirant when he starts the preparation, the candidate tries to go for it firstly. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
for us, with respect to your basic foundation, like okay, you have to prepare each and every subject thoroughly. So what approach you adopted? Because as you have done a lot of self-study itself during your whole preparation. So as many of the candidates are of the view like self study से नहीं होता है या बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. So what approach you adopted? I want to inform all the candidates who are there and who are not able to afford coachings and who are there that क्या self study से हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता है. So you please give some insight on that.
Yes, so when I looked at the topper videos and the strategy that a lot of toppers followed, I could see that there is a common book list that the toppers recommend. Like for CPC, it's Takwani; for CRPC, Kelkar; for family law, Poonam ma'am's book, like that. So I made that book list and I purchased those books. And I did the first reading of those books in like about 7 to 8 months. I did the first reading of all the standard books end to end without trying to remember the minute details, without trying to remember section numbers or case laws, just to understand and have conceptual clarity. So after my first reading, then I did my second reading, and in my second reading, I placed along with the books the past year papers, past year questions, mains and prelims. So whenever I was reading any topic from the book, I read it with the past year questions, prelims and mains, and then comprehensively I tried to make my own notes after looking at the material that is given in the book and the type of questions that are asked in the exams. And likewise, I made my notes. And so after I made my notes, I kept improving them with recent case laws, and I had enrolled in a couple of test series. So whenever I used to give test papers, there were some questions I was not able to answer. So sir, usse I used to improve my notes. And for like in the last 1 year, I had appeared for a lot of tests. So on tests, I improved those notes. And so I think
Oh,
entirely self-study nahi tha. I did take help of test series, but sir, both the things work together to,
okay, okay,
yeah.
very good, very good, very good. So, with respect to the major subjects like CPC, IPC, and with respect to the other major subjects which comes in the exam, you were basically targeting like what are the main books which we
Yes.
usually recommend, and according to that, you firstly make your concepts clear. Like, okay,
Yes,
these
sir.
are the things that we have to see. What are the reasons behind that? And then, okay, you again follow the test series and also that and previous year papers also, so that you
Yes,
will be able to inculcate that, okay, what is required to be done in the exam and what kind of questions are coming in the concerned states.
yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay,
Yes,
great, great. So, Paras, then, like, first, you as you said that you have done your the basic clarification on the basic topics. Then, along with that, you were there for a respective stage. So, when, as you had graduated in the year 2022 itself, so I believe your results were out in the year June, July,
yes, sir.
around
June.
that
Yes,
time.
sir.
Okay, so around June and July, your results were out, and you were there with your preparations only after the results. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
Himachal was notified in April and May in the middle of that. I think May. It was in May.
Yes, sir.
It was notified in May. So the moment the notification comes, it was your first exam, I believe,
Yes,
that
sir.
which you had filled with respect to the judiciary, and because you were preparing altogether from the last 1 year.
Yes,
So
sir.
how that the moment the notification comes, what immediate approach you adopted?
So for the HP specifically, I had before the notification, I was done with the notes and preparation for the major laws. But the minor laws, I was not very well versed with, like Wildlife Act, Forest Act. So after the notification came out, I tried to devote more time to these laws because in prelims, a lot of section number based question, chapter number based question, detailed questions come from these laws. So for after the notification came out, for about 1 month, my focus was on mains answer writing and doing these extra, not so extra, I mean the minor laws like Wildlife Act, Forest Act. And so after 1.5 month, I shifted my focus completely on prelims like rigorous MCQ practices and revision from the bare acts.
Okay. So the moment the notification came out, you shifted yourself to the minor laws. Like these are the
Yes, sir.
subjects you have not done, and in Himachal, this time because there was a lot of subjects
Yes, sir.
introduced, you know, like POXO, JJ Act, and all. And apart from that, we have the other old laws also, like Excise Act and Forest and
Yes, sir.
Wildlife. So you have to prepare approximately 10 or 11 subjects simultaneously. And as you said that you have done that within 1.5 months after the notification was out.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay,
About like
okay, okay,
2 months,
okay.
sir. Around 2 months, I was doing.
Around 2 months. Around 2 months. Great. And after it was only the direct approach, or had you researched on some case laws on the minor topics also? कुछ किया था रिसर्च माइनर के केसेस पे?
सर जो माइनर लॉज जेजे एक्ट डीवी एक्ट ये लॉज हैं इनके तो केस लॉज किए थे बट वाइल्ड लाइफ एक्ट फॉरेस्ट एक्ट में आई डेंट डू केस लॉज फॉर वाइल्ड लाइफ फॉरेस्ट एंड एक्साइज बट फॉर एचपी रेंट कंट्रोल एक्ट एंड द criminal minor laws like the newly added laws for those I had done case laws. So.
Okay, okay, okay. So, with respect to this complete preparation, like after the notification now, 2 महीने तक आपने वो सारा complete किया and then you were rigorously there for the prelims exam. Because prelims in Himachal is always very dicey, है ना?
Yes,
आपने
sir.
भी देखा होगा previous year के trends. I believe that you have observed
Yes,
एंड
sir.
कितना कट ऑफ जा रहा है और कैसे पेपर आ रहे हैं कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं बिकॉज हिमाचल में एक टेंडेंसी जरूर देखी जाती है दैट they try to ask you the questions in very minute details like which judge has delivered the judgment, this amendment is of which year, which
Yes,
act
sir.
number is there, dissenting judge कौन है, कोई पुराने जजेस का नाम पूछ लेते हैं क्योंकि वो एग्जाम को थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट बनाने की डेफिनेटली they try to do that. So, with respect to the prelims, as you said that you had joined the test series with us also, and you may have gone through with other test series also as well.
Yes.
So, had you gone through with some books specifically for prelims point of view?
So, sir, for prelims, I had done the past year papers for HP. So those questions I had done. And sir, pehle maine like in my 5th year when I was preparing, so I had done the from the singles. There's a 4 volume book. So usme se
Ah,
I had done, sir,
oh,
prelims preparation. Yes.
okay. And with respect to the minor subjects, any
Sir,
MCQ kind of a book?
sir उसमें टेस्ट सीरीज पे ही मेजरली मैंने रिलाई किया था.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay, okay, great, great. And after that, the prelims was there, and the
Yes,
weather
sir.
conditions were not favorable at that time.
Yes,
And I
sir.
and I know that you were there with your father, I think, in
Yes,
Shimla
sir.
when the
Yes,
prelims
sir.
exam was there. Okay. So after that, because we had conversation at that time also कि prelims में कितना जाएगा cut off and you were basically sure that you are going to have it, but still I was reading the messages in the WhatsApp and today that how you started and how you ultimately reached that stage. So I was looking that okay जब result आना था तो सर इस question का answer क्या होना चाहिए इसका answer क्या होना चाहिए and we were having those discussions and when the this prelims result was not there but yes but the moment the prelims was conducted उसके बाद मेंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अप्रोच यू adopted because we have a lot of subjects the time period is only 40 days we are having
Yes,
so
sir.
so what you attempted at that time.
So, sir, the notes that I had prepared for mains, I revised those notes properly, and I had also made like very short 3-4 pages notes for every subject to revise 2 days before the exam. So, sir, that revision I was doing, and I practiced a lot of answers, did rigorous answer writing practice. So
That,
these two
that,
things, and just keeping an eye on the recent case laws to improve the quality of my answers. So these 3 things I would say I was primarily doing in that time.
okay, okay, okay. So with respect to the mains basic focus was on the major subjects because a major subject is always having some applied questions which are there in the exam. So you have to take care of that. Case laws are required to be supplemented because as I have gone through multiple answer sheets of you, so you try to mention the case laws which are very recent. And
Yes.
we sometimes get to surprise that okay, this girl knows this case also. Okay, so 2023 cases, 2022 cases, 2022, 2023 के जितने भी recent judgment जो बहुत ज़्यादा limelight में रहे, you try to mention that, and I believe that in the mains answer when you are attempting in the commission, you had done that particular thing like recent cases को वहाँ पे लिखना है.
Yes, yes, sir. So I tried to do just this case I knew, so I tried to do that. I think in some questions I did in recent cases. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So, Paras, my next question to you is that as the aspirants, those now who are going to appear in the next year judicial exams, like this year, it is almost the last month now, and I believe that next year around May or June again, HP Public Service Commission will again notify the vacancies because many of the vacancies are vacant because इस बार भरा भी नहीं है बहुत सारी vacancies. So, what tip you want to give to those candidates who are now in the middle of the foundation courses or those who are preparing for the next year? So, any kind of a tip which you want to give to these candidates?
Sir, my first tip would be don't wait for the notification to come and then you should start your preparation. Then you should start your MCQ practice or answer writing practice. You should be prepared before the notification comes because when the notification comes, उसके बाद भी हमें बहुत चीजें फिर पता चलती हैं that okay, this is the area where we need to improve. These are the things that are still not covered by us. So there'll be a lot of things to do after the notification also comes. So make sure that you work very rigorously and you're full in your full spirits you work right now and try to complete your syllabus before the notification comes so that after that we can practice more, we can do a lot of more, we can do a lot of other things to improve our answers. So that will be my tip that we should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I recommend to all the students, which are my students, that as those subjects which you have done in the classes, just have the answer writing practice on those subjects at least, because you will not be waiting for let the course is getting completed and then you are going to do all of these things. So you must be starting simultaneously. Like this is the subject we have done, and now let us go for the previous year papers and all, and let us start with the answer writing practices because in the answer writing practice also you are not going to do the best you can do in the first answer. Okay,
Yes,
so
for
a
sure.
lot of time you have to repeat the things. आपको बहुत बार वही आंसर बार बार लिखना पड़ता है और
Yes, sir.
the moment you get to know that okay, this is the answer which is required to be written in the paper when the real exam will be there. So at that time, yes, you may be getting the results in your favor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Paras, coming to the next area that we have to discuss over here, as the persons who are preparing ना, they are of the view that कि सर हमारे को सेक्शन याद नहीं होता, सर हमें केस लॉ याद नहीं होता, ठीक है? ये जो एक प्रैक्टिस है that ये याद क्यों नहीं हो रहा, ठीक है? So we try to push the candidates that okay, you go for the multiple revisions, you don't have to mug up the things, आपको रट्टा मारने
Yes.
की जरूरत नहीं है, वो अपने आप एक प्रोसेस है जिससे वो चीजें आपके दिमाग में स्टोर हो जाती हैं. So you tell me that when you started this journey, do you also face this problem that कि section भूल जा रहे हैं, case law याद नहीं रहता? What and how you overcome with this?
सर मोस्ट certainly सर आई डिड फेस दिस इशू स्टार्टिंग में नहीं याद होती चीजें एंड फर्स्ट रीडिंग में आई थिंक या फर्स्ट सेकंड रीडिंग में हर चीज याद करने की कोशिश भी नहीं करनी चाहिए बिकॉज उसकी मेमोरी फिर बहुत शॉर्ट होती है हमारी कोशिश होनी चाहिए कि हम बहुत ध्यान से चीजों को पढ़ें एंड वी शुड रीड इट 10 to 12 times. The 13th time you will read it, you will a lot of things will automatically be assimilated in your memory. So, if we read it so many times, then automatically if a question comes on that topic या कोई वो section number पूछेंगे, we'll be able to answer it. So I think when we do repeated readings of the same thing, the things automatically, we are able to automatically memorize the important details, and that memory that we get after repeated revisions is it lasts with us for a very long time.
Exactly. Because देखो ना आपको हम I used to use the term in my classes that आप इतने अच्छे से पढ़ लो कि चीजें आपके जहन में उतर जाए.
Yes,
आपको आपको याद करने की जरूरत ना पड़े. And that is the basic fundamental that जब आप एग्जाम वहां पे लिखते हो, the back to back you have 5 papers, every day you have to write for 3 hours, and a lot of subjects are also there, like 21 subjects. In one day you are giving 5 subjects paper
yes,
साइमल्टेनियसली. तो आपको बहुत सारी चीजें आपके जहन में अगर हैं, आपके ध्यान में हैं, तो आपको याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है बिकॉज वंस द पेपर इज देयर ऑन द टेबल यू ट्राई टू राइट इट एंड अपने आप ही वो आंसर आप लिखते जाओगे, आपका पेपर खत्म होता है. सो
yes.
दैट इज द वन थिंग which everyone has to follow. Okay, so Paras, in Himachal, as the exams are basically the race against time,
Yes, sir.
because it is 3 hours, 20 questions. In criminal law, it is 25 or 30 questions. So, what approach you adopted that मुझे 3 घंटे में पहले ही ये पेपर खत्म करना है? Because मैं आपसे जब आप मेंस के आंसर राइटिंग कर रहे थे, so you try to write the answers in 3 hours, all the complete question papers. So, and I had asked many times to you कि क्या आप पूरा 3 घंटे में लिख देते हो?
Yes,
If you remember.
yes, sir.
So, had you attempted this thing in the first paper itself, or you had practiced for it कि मुझे 3 घंटे के अंदर लिखना है?
सर फर्स्ट पेपर में आई वाज माय स्पीड इज एक्चुअली इनहेरेंटली बहुत स्लो है. मेरे कॉलेज में भी काफी बार छूट जाता था पेपर. सो आई हैव वर्कड अ लॉट ऑन डेवलपिंग आंसर राइटिंग स्पीड एंड ओवर टाइम डेवलप हुई आंसर राइटिंग स्पीड. आई थिंक सर एचपी का पेपर इज really very lengthy. दूसरे states के comparison में भी it's
Exactly.
quite lengthy and it requires practice. When we practice a lot of answers, automatically we develop the speed and automatically so answer writing practice से one is that our muscles start writing fast, so hand movement fast होती है. And when we practice a lot of answers, then it gives us better memory and उस तरीके से भी we are able to write in a shorter duration. So, sir, जब पहला आंसर लिखा था, it really took me a lot of time, and it's over a period of time that I have developed the ability to write in a fast manner.
So, Paras, as the format you had adopted, that is the IRAC process,
Yes.
na? Like issue
Yes,
framing,
sir.
then you are going for the reasoning and analysis, and then conclusion is there in your answer. And as I have gone through multiple answer sheets of you, so had someone taught you that this is the process of answer writing in the judiciary paper, or you gone through certain videos of the toppers and then you got to know it, और कि ये आपका ओरिजिनल फॉर्मूला है कि ऐसा लिखना चाहिए?
नहीं सर, मेरा ओरिजिनल फॉर्मूला नहीं है. आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल द नेम ऑफ द टॉपर, बट देयर वाज वन टॉपर वीडियो आई हैड सीन ऑन द इंटरनेट एंड उसमें ही हैड डिस्कस्ड व्हाट इज द पैटर्न वन हैज टू फॉलो फॉर द hypothetical questions and the pattern that one should follow for descriptive questions. And उन्होंने ये pattern बताया था and वहां से I picked up this pattern and I applied it to all the questions. So.
Very good. So Paras, ऐसा होता है ना कि when the teacher is teaching in a class, like we used to take the sessions and all, and we guide the candidate that you have to do this, but still someone takes it seriously, some does not take it seriously कि हम तो अपने तरीके से लिखेंगे, ठीक है? So I want you to mention to all the candidates that if you are writing the direct kind of a question, what should be the process of your answer, like how the starting, how the middle, how the end of the conclusion of the answer should be there. And when you are writing the applied answer, then what should be the approach you have to adopt while writing that thing? Because many candidates face this problem, like they don't understand how to write. Because हम जैसे बहुत बार बच्चे भी answers लिखते हैं, so they used to make long paragraphs, neither any start, neither any conclusion, and they are not getting or able to fetch that much marks in such kind of answer. So we mentioned, okay, frame the issue, make the analysis, mention the law points, make a proper conclusion, but they are not able to understand that how to frame an issue. They are not able to understand सर एनालिसिस कैसे करना है, ठीक
Thank
है?
you, sir.
तो ये एक चीज मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि आप बच्चों को बताएं कि डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन अगर आता है या कोई डॉक्ट्राइन कभी कभी पूछ लेते हैं या कोई अप्लाइड क्वेश्चन आता है, सो व्हाट शुड बी द पैटर्न वन बाय वन, यू प्लीज मे मेंशन ऑल टू ऑल द एस्पिरेंट्स हु आर देयर.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, sir, talking about direct questions or descriptive questions, उसमें we follow this introduction, body, conclusion format. So, the body is the core of our answer. जहाँ पे जो the thing that is asked from us is directly answered. Introduction is sort of a precursor to what we state in the body, and it introduces the idea of what we are going to write in the body. And that introduction generally हम एक object की form में लिख सकते हैं, उस provision का क्या object है, that we can write in the introduction, or we can write some maxim that is related to what is asked in the question, some principle, some basis, some jurisprudential essence of what is asked in the question. So that can be our introduction. Our body has to be exactly what is asked in the question. For example, if there is a question on explain constructive res judicata, so our body will be explanation 4 of section 11, and we can explain it with one case law. Our introduction can be the concept of constructive res judicata amplifies the concept of res judicata. Its purpose is to prevent circumvention around the concept of res judicata. Then our body will be what is constructive res judicata, section 11, explanation 4, and we can write 1 or 2 case laws for that, depending on what is the marks of the answer, where we can decide how much to write. And then our conclusion can be 1 or 2 lines of something which we have not already stated in the answer, a sort of an extra point, but not a vague point. Just say, is question mein we can write that the concept of constructive res judicata also applies to writ petitions as held in, I think it's Devi Lal Moti versus STU. I'm not able to. So
Yes,
that
yes.
kind of a point we can mention in our conclusion, jo ekdam exactly asked nahi hai, but it is still related to what the question is. And we should mention these headings: introduction, body, conclusion, but that is how our answer should flow. So, sir, that is for the descriptive questions. For the hypothetical questions or fact-based questions, the format is IRAC format. I stands for issue, R stands for rule, A stands for analysis, and C stands for conclusion. So issue is the main point that is asked in the question. That is what we frame, how we frame the issue. For example, if again it's a fact-based question, जिसमें the main issue is कि res judicata apply होगा या नहीं. So whether the matter, suppose the point is whether this thing is directly and substantially in issue. So that will be our issue, whether this matter directly and substantially in issue was so in the former suit. So whether ki form mein we frame the issue. Then in the rule part, we don't discuss the facts, but we discuss the applicable provisions of law. That's how I used to do it. So I'll explain the concept of res judicata, section 11. उसका क्या important part है जो हमारे facts से related है. पूरा section 11 explain करने की जरूरत नहीं है. सिर्फ that part of the law that is linked to your facts. Explain only that part of the law along with the case laws. Then comes the analysis part. That is the part where we'll bring the facts in the question and we'll try to interpret those facts in light of the law that we have stated. So analysis wala part hai jo sabse important part hai, and you should give allot the maximum space to that part in your answer, and that's the part where we'll analyze the facts in light of the law stated. And after doing that, in 1 or 2 lines, just write the conclusion as to whether the issue should be answered in affirmative or it should be answered in negative. So that's the broad format. So
Yes.
right.
So I believe that all the aspirants got the broader insight that okay, if the direct question is, then कैसे लिखना है, and if it is the applied or factual based question, any illustration based question is there, then what should be the process we have to follow. Okay, very good. So far as with respect to the Himachal, as it is a lengthy paper, so though I had also guided you on that, but yes, you may please tell to the candidates that what was the length of the answer you specified. Like if it is a 12 marks question, so what was the length of your answer?
Yes, sir. So the sheets that we got in the exam, वो normal A4 size sheets से थोड़ी छोटी होती हैं, and margins are also broad. So for those sheets, like for 8 mark question, I wrote about general, most like average में I wrote about 1.5 page, and 12 के लिए 2.5, कुछ questions में मेरा 3 pages भी हो गया था, because I write a little, my handwriting is a little big, so that was the broad thing, that for an 8-mark question around 1.5 page, and for 12-mark question 2.5, 3 pages. That's
so you count one page as front and back or one side?
so one side. So for an 8-mark, one side, the second side will be half.
Half. Okay.
Like that. So.
Okay, very good, very good.
So I hope I am clear in that respect.
Yes,
Yeah.
Other candidates are clear on that. I think. Paras, like okay, like after that the mains were done. So as in Himachal, language also plays a very important role, and this time also I believe that the language has plays a very crucial role in the selection of the candidates. So with respect to Hindi as well as with respect to English, like what things you have done, and as many of the candidates who are good in English, they are not that much good in Hindi. कुछ एक ऐसे कैंडिडेट है जो हिंदी में ठीक है लेकिन इंग्लिश में दे आर नॉट एबल टू परफॉर्म प्रॉपरली. सो इनको थोड़ा सा आप एक बता दो कि हिंदी और इंग्लिश को लेके, बिकॉज इन हिमाचल इट इज नॉट दैट टू मच थिंग्स आर बीइंग आस्क्ड, because English में it is only the essay and the translation, and in Hindi a grammar portion of 20 marks, 30 marks translation, 50 marks essay. So how you attempted that particular thing कि मुझे इंग्लिश और हिंदी को लेके क्या क्या करना है, how you practice that?
Yes, sir. So for English essays specifically, I had made my notes, skeleton notes for all the important essay topics. So that's what I did. And may I had written 4 to 5 essays, past year papers say 4 to 5 essay topics. But I had practiced writing essays. So more or less that was my preparation for essays. As to the material that I referred to prepare the skeleton notes, so some internet resources I referred to, and I used to read newspapers. So editorials में से whenever I used to get any new point, like जैसे artificial intelligence पे बहुत articles आते हैं, so and that's also a hot topic for essay writing, although इस बार नहीं पूछा था, तो वो जो भी points हो वो आप note कर सकते हो. You can keep a note of all the points that you find on topics which can be potential essay topics in newspapers. So I used to I made my skeleton notes mostly from editorials and internet resources. I didn't refer to any book for English essays as such, sir. And for sir English translation, so Hindi to English translation, I didn't face a lot of difficulty in that. And I practiced past year papers on English to Hindi translation, and I found that I was able to more or less translate them well. So I honestly didn't put in a lot of effort us area mein. Sir, about Hindi, for Hindi grammar, after the notification came out, every day I used to give about 30 to 45 minutes on doing some portion of Hindi grammar. Like if we now know the past year papers and like even this year papers, they don't have a very fixed defined syllabus for Hindi grammar. Virtually anything and everything which comes within the scope of Hindi grammar is being asked. So वही है कि सर हमें हर रोज थोड़ा थोड़ा 40 to 45 minutes हिंदी ग्रामर को देने पड़ेंगे. If we do it over a period of 3 months, then I think that is the preparation we need and we'll be able to sail through that. That's how I did it, sir. And so for Hindi translation, yes, sir, that for me was a huge challenge, English to Hindi translation. And I have actually worked a lot on this. I started working on my English to Hindi translation from my 5th year itself, and thoda thoda karke वो improve होता गया. The primary source that I referred to was this book of ASAP Educations. It is a very good book on English to Hindi translation. So I did that book and I practiced translation for English to Hindi translation. I did that and I had prepared my own word lists of words that I found that were very commonly used in passages of translation and which I used to forget or I didn't know. So I had made my own word list for the translation part. So and I revised it one day before the exam. So that was my preparation for translations. So for Hindi essays, I had referred to this book by I think it's a Drishti IS book, Nibandh Drishti ki. Usme se sir 10 to 15 important essay topics I had filtered out. And wo essays I had done, and there were some internet resources that I had referred to for Hindi essays.
So essays you have targeted on the social aspects or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when we analyze the past year papers for Hindi, for HP, we find that कुछ topics बहुत repeat होते हैं, like हिंदी language पे पूछते हैं काफी बार, and democracy से related, लोकतंत्र से related topics repeat होते हैं. इस बार although sir
yes.
थोड़े different topics आए थे, so for Hindi essays, I also feel that if we have prepared our English essays well, and if we have prepared our translation part well, that also covers half the job for Hindi essays.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Paras, for Hindi grammar, had you done any work on any book? Like, I used to recommend Raghav Prakash book from for that.
Yes, sir. Raghav Prakash wali book se bhi I had done some part, but मैंने पहले Arihant, I had purchased this book by Arihant, so I was actually following that one. And so there is this very good channel on YouTube, Blackboard, which I refer to for Hindi grammar. That really helped me a lot.
So all of those who are there in the session today and those who will be watching this video after this. So the channel which Paras has mentioned, it is Blackboard. YouTube
Yes,
pe
sir. It's by the name of Blackboard. They're very good videos on Hindi, I found. Like they were really helpful.
Okay, so for Hindi, you people can follow that particular channel because she had followed it and it helped her out for that. Okay, very good. So Paras, chili, coming to the next segment. Okay, you told me that how you were able to crack the prelims, so multiple test papers, single की चारों किताबें आपने खरीद के पढ़ दी, ठीक
सर
है,
चारों नहीं सर, उसमें मतलब जो टॉपिक्स
जो
ये
वॉल्यूम
सर
में
टॉपिक्स
आता
थे
है.
relevant, yes.
And apart from that, the multiple BREC revision is
Yes, sir.
definitely you have to do, because BREC से बहुत ज्यादा चीजें पूछी जाती है. So Paras, had you made any BREC specific BREC based notes also?
Sir, like not Berac based notes, but in my last few readings, whenever, like in my last readings for prelims, when I was doing those readings, I found that these are the concepts that I still am not able to memorize, or these are the section numbers, these small details that I'm not able to still keep a memory of. So those small facts I had made a separate note of. Apart from that, sir, Berac के as such notes नहीं बनाए थे.
पर बेरेक यू हैव डन बेरेक थरली, लाइक जो छोटे
Yes.
बेरेक्स होते हैं, सीआरपीसी सीपीसी सब ए टू जेड कवर टू कवर पढ़ा, या बीच बीच कुछ टॉपिक्स आपने छोड़े भी?
Sir, more or less cover to cover पढ़ा था, but like since like for sir IPC there's a chapter on counterfeit coins, so उसमें few sections I had section numbers I had skipped, so sir like that some things I had skipped, but more
Yes,
or less किया था sir.
but as far as the minor subjects are concerned, like HP rent control, wildlife, you have
Yes,
to
sir.
go cover to cover.
Yes,
In
sir.
the major subjects also, the small laws like limitation, Hindu law,
Yes,
TPA,
sir.
contract,
Yes, sir.
these minor small laws. So you have to do it cover to cover. But when it comes to CPC, IPC, CRPC, then you may have to see that, okay, this portion is not that much relevant as far as the exam is concerned. Like as you said in IPC counterfeiting, and there are some sections which are like from onward section 150 till section 298. There is
Yes,
some portion which is relevant, some portion which is not relevant.
not
So
relevant.
वहाँ पे आप थोड़ा बहुत pick and choose कर सकते हो by looking at the previous year papers and MCQs which are being asked. But हर चीज वहाँ से आपको पढ़ने बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है कि आप वो 150 सेक्शंस को रट्टा मारना शुरू कर दें. इसके
Yes,
साथ साथ सीआरपीसी में भी द सेम काइंड ऑफ थिंग इज देयर ऑल्सो. और सीपीसी में बट आई बिलीव दैट सेक्शन एरिया लाइक 150 sections are very very important, 153 capital B तक. Orders में yes you can have certain things like which are
yes.
not that much relevant. What is your take on this?
But yes, sir, absolutely. So I feel that every rule number is not relevant, but every rule number, but we should have a thorough reading of all the rules irrespective. Because कोई
Yes.
concept based question आ सकता है, but हर rule number, हर or like last की I think or like order 50, 51, 49 इनमें से अंदर से questions नहीं आते sir. But फिर भी we should have a brief
But
idea.
they may ask some matchmaking,
Yes,
और
sir.
वैसे वैसा
Yes, sir.
सवाल हिमाचल में जनरली
Yes,
पूछने
sir.
की थोड़ी सी टेंडेंसी उनकी रहती है. ग्रेट
Yes,
ग्रेट.
sir.
Okay. So इसके साथ पारस, I will be taking few insights from you that as your interview was there after the means was done. So what was your approach with respect to the interviews?
Yes, sir. So for interview, I think it's very important that we should practice speaking and expressing ourselves through words orally, because that is something that we are not very much that we lose a touch with during our preparation. So, sir, that is important. And revising our major laws, quickly just going through the major points so that we can present ourselves better, and giving mock interviews, sir. These three things I feel are very important.
Okay, very good. So how mock interviews make a person more comfortable when you go in the before the real panel?
Yes, yes, sir, absolutely. Some mock interviews, I feel, because the format of an interview, which is a formal interaction with learned people, that is something that we are not very used to in our lives. Like answer writing for means is something that still we have been doing in college, school, but वो चीज़ it's absolutely new to us. So it's very important that we create a simulation for that before the real interview, so that we develop a sense of familiarity with it, and we are able to put ourselves in ease and present the real us in front of the board.
So I believe that I had taken 2, 3 mocks of
Yes,
you along
yes, sir.
the association of Lawsico.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, great. Paras, as you have the habit of studying in night, or you early in the morning you wake up and you start studying?
So I think like none actually, because I used to sleep at around 12:31 and I used to wake up at around 8. So somewhere in the like both or none. Yeah.
Okay, so you have the complete day as well as evening also, and the late evening also, which you can put up with respect to
Yes.
your studies.
Yes.
Okay, so Paras, can you please tell all of us, including me also, like what was your schedule when you were preparing for the prelims and for mains and interview में तो चलो you were basically working on the major subjects and all that, but what was your schedule with respect to your daily routine? अब रोज मतलब what was your process like? It is a question बहुत बार लोग पूछते हैं सर ये कैंडिडेट कितने घंटे पढ़ता था, 12 घंटे, 14, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, ठीक है? वी डोंट रिकमेंड आपको 12-14 घंटा बैठना है। आप अगर 8 घंटे भी मटेरियल स्टडी करेंगे इट इज गुड इनफ, ठीक है? सो आई
Yes.
वांट यू टू mention all the aspirants whosoever are there कि किस तरीके से और किस अप्रोच से पढ़ाई करो ताकि रिजल्ट्स आपको जल्दी मिले।
Yes, sir. So, I used to like talking about the number of hours. I used to study for 8-9 hours. Mains के around 10-11 hours रहता था, but उससे ज़्यादा I have never studied. So, like the broad schedule used to be, I used to start studying at around 9:30, and 9:30 to 2:30 I used to study after like not continuously. I used to take half an hour break, but whenever I used to feel the need. So that used to be one major bunch of time for which I used to study, and then I used to have my lunch. I used to talk to my mother, and we used to sleep for some time. And then I used to wake up at around 4:30, and from 4:30 to 8:30, that was another slot. Usme bhi it's not like I was continuously studying for 4 hours. Usme se I think 3.5 hours ki ho jati hogi effective study. And then sir, raat mein around 10 to 12:31, I used to study for 2 hours, 1.5 hours. I think that would be the effective study time during that time. So that was the broad schedule that I used to follow, sir. Sir, what was the second question? I forgot about it.
The second question is that what approach the candidate must adopt while doing the preparation so that they will get the results
Yes, sir. Yes,
within a time frame of 1 year. Like the preparation
yes, sir.
schedule is definitely it is hectic. Like a
Right.
lot of subjects are there.
Right, sir. Like apart from studying, there's two things that I would recommend that sometimes I feel aspirants miss out on is repeated revisions and regular revisions of what we have done and practicing that and putting that in execution. So if we have read a topic, we have covered suppose we have covered CPC in this 1 month. Then if we'll pick CPC after 6 months, then वो हमारा 1 month की मेहनत will go in waste because we'll not
Yes.
be able to we'll not have that memory and that clarity that we had 6 months before. So it's important that our first revision should be around after 15 days of when we completed that subject. And then we should keep repeated revisions, like revising it one time will not be sufficient. At least revising it 10 to 12 times before your final exam is very important. So repeated revisions and then putting that whatever you have studied into effect, it trying to just test yourself on whatever you have studied. And so sometimes, as aspirants, we have this fear of testing ourselves. हम टेस्ट देने से डरते हैं, but I feel so that is very important. And mock tests are not just for the purposes of evaluation. They are a part of your preparation and they strengthen your preparation. So don't look at mock tests as evaluatory mechanisms. They are a part of your syllabus. Look at them as a part of your syllabus because that is how you will understand where you are going wrong and what are the areas that we should improve on. So those would be my two suggestions.
Exactly. So I hope everyone got the clarity कि 12 घंटे पढ़ना नहीं है, ठीक है? It is the most important thing is that whatever the hours you are studying, you have the effective study. इफेक्टिव स्टडी अगर आप 7-8 घंटा भी पढ़ रहे हैं और इफेक्टिवली पढ़ रहे हो तो दैट इज गुड इनफ। और ये भी जरूरी नहीं है कि सुबह से लेकर रात तक बैठे रहना है। यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर फिजिकल हेल्थ ऑल्सो, योर मेंटल हेल्थ ऑल्सो, एंड एवरीथिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट। एक प्रॉपर स्लीप, पढ़ाई को बर्डन नहीं बनाना है कि अगर आप पढ़ाई को बर्डन बना के पढ़ोगे, बोझ बना लोगे कि अपने सिर पे, तो फिर पढ़ाई नहीं हो सकती। फिर आफ्टर सम टाइम यू विल बी अंडर द स्ट्रेस कि मेरे से पढ़ाई नहीं हो रही, तो उसको एंजॉय करो। बट आई फील like I am in the this field of teaching from last I believe 7.5 years, ठीक है? पिछले 7.5 सालों में पारस आई डोंट नो हाउ मच टाइम्स आई हैव गॉन थ्रू विद दीज सब्जेक्ट्स व्हिच वी यूज्ड टू टेक अप मल्टीपल बैचेस मॉर्निंग में सीपीसी चल रहा है इवनिंग में एविडेंस उसके बाद कहीं और कुछ और चल रहा है and every subject we have to give 100%, so that is possible only when the repeated rotations of the subjects are there. So as Paras has stated कि आप लोगों को रिवीजन करनी है और रोटेशन में सब्जेक्ट्स को लेके आना है कि आज आपका एक सब्जेक्ट हुआ 15-20 दिनों के बाद दोबारा से उस सब्जेक्ट को रोटेट करो रिपीट करो ठीक है और हर सब्जेक्ट की रोटेशन फिक्स करो लाइक वेन एवर द शेड्यूल यू आर मेकिंग आप व्हाट वी यूज टू डू व्हेन वी यूज टू स्टडी तो हम लोग अपने महीने 2 महीने का शेड्यूल बना लेते थे and
Yes.
in that schedule we fix the things like okay we have to rotate the things like CPC done evidence then again CPC then IPC then evidence तो ये repetition सब rotations में shift आप करोगे तो आपका वो उस तरीके से आप इन्वॉल्व हो जाओगे पढ़ाई में कि आपको पढ़ने में मजा आएगा एंड दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग यू आर ट्रैवलिंग ऑन दिस पाथ दैट यू वांट टू क्रैक द कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम okay so Paras some last few questions I will be asking to you that as you're a NLU grad okay so NLU Jodhpur is itself a renowned institution Paras were you active in social media also
Sir, like I have accounts on some social media platforms, but during my preparation, I was not active on it. And like sometimes I used to use it, but I didn't have that addiction sort of or,
so
inability to control
you
myself.
were not using that screen and reeling and all that things you know
No.
and and what was your screen time बहुत सारे लोग screen time उनका बहुत है मोबाइल फोन पे मतलब 6-6 8-8 घंटे 2-2 3-3 घंटे they used to have the on the phones रात को बिस्तर में बैठे हैं और फोन लेके बैठ जाते हैं so what tip you want to give to such candidates because do it will create an obstacle in the preparation.
Yes, so certainly I feel that screen time should like using social media and all. It's not a bad thing inherently, but we need to use it in moderation to the extent that it doesn't harm our preparation. So sometimes I used to also get a little distracted with my phone. So I used this app Blackout. I had put this app and then I used to put some time slot that 12 AM से लेके 4 12 noon से लेके 4 PM तक. So that time my phone used to be closed even if I want to open it. So the app used to show and I was not able to open it. So I used that app on days when I
ये
found.
ऐप पारस आप दोबारा से नाम बता दो और मैं
Sir,
लिख भी दूंगा.
Blackout. I used to use this app Blackout. It is named Blackout.
So all the candidates who are wasting their time on mobile phone, either intentionally or without any intention. But yes, what happens now? Like let us say there is a notification come that this is a new judgment passed by Honorable Supreme Court. You take out your phone, you see the judgment, and then you go to WhatsApp, then you will go to Instagram, and then you will start rolling your screen. So उनके लिए ये एक हिदायत है कि पारस ने एक बड़ी अच्छी ऐप आपको बताई है. We are not promoting any app over here, but yes,
Yeah.
it is going to help you people out that अगर आप नहीं कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हैं तो इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ एन एडिक्शन सो यू कैन यूज दिस ऐप आपका फोन बंद हो जाएगा आप यूज नहीं कर सकते बड़ा सीधा
Yes.
सा तरीका है तो आप एक प्रोसेस बना सकते हो कि मुझे इस टाइम पे पढ़ना है और इस टाइम पे मेरा फोन बंद रहेगा और मैं जान के भी अगर उसको ओपन करना चाहूँ तो वो ना हो so that is the
Yes.
best thing you people can do very good Paras this thing I am also learned with this, from you that this is possible I was not aware of this. Okay, okay. So I would like to have certain questions from you people. If any one of you are having any question with respect to your preparations, so you may please come forward. As many of the candidates, Paras, were there, are there in this session, and they were there also in the mains exam with you. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so
Okay, sir.
yes, so many of them were there, and they are sending me direct messages, and I am getting one message that time management, time
Yes.
management. So if you want to have a few words on this time management, though you have already cleared it.
Yes. Sir, during the paper, time management or the preparation time management?
During the preparation, how you manage your time with respect to multiple subjects.
Okay, sir. So, sir, after like I used to divide my time, a daily time into slots like 3, 4, एक time में 2 subjects से ज़्यादा I never took up. So 2 subjects, I used to divide my time between those 2 subjects, and some part of my day used to be reserved for languages, and some part of my day was for answer writing practice. I didn't practice every day, but I think every alternate day I used to practice. So broadly, that was the division of time.
Okay. Paras, another question I'm getting from one of the student that how newspapers are going to help you out, and do every aspirant should be in a habit of reading the newspaper, and if any newspaper you want to recommend.
Okay, so newspaper reading, I used to do regular newspaper reading from Indian Express, and it's not that I used to read every word of it, or I used to spend 2 hours reading it. 30 to 40 minutes only I used to read it, and majorly I used to focus on the editorial part of the newspaper, because in HP, it's not that they ask us GK in any stage of the examination, so we don't need to read newspaper from that perspective. More the importance of newspaper comes for our essays, primarily from the purposes of the examination for our essays, and secondly for the interview. Newspaper reading becomes important. So I used to read Indian Express, and I feel the first page, the editorial page, and the explain page, these are the 3 pages which are the most which will be the most useful for us for our preparation.
And a last question which I will be having, and this is my question also. Paras, as you were preparing for interviews with us also, and after that you went to the interviewing commission. So how
Yes.
was your that interview experience in the Himachal Pradesh Public Service Commission? And someone is raising a question also over here that said, what kind of questions were there in the interview? So
Yes.
this is you have to mention to all the yeah.
Yes, sir. So for the interview, the board was actually very cordial. When I entered into the room, the interview hall, first of all, they told me to sit, and they were like, "You are comfortable now. Whenever you will be comfortable, then we'll begin the interview." So they were very comfortable, and during the interview, it wasn't like they were trying to test me, or they were trying to, they were trying to figure out that where she will go wrong, or that was not the approach. It was very conversational, and they made it very comfortable. The board was really very cordial. And with respect to the specific questions that were asked, so the first question was asked by the honorable chairman. He asked me to introduce myself without taking my name or telling anything about my family background. And after that, sir, there were a couple of legal questions, like I was asked to explain the procedure of the criminal trial, beginning from the filing of the charge sheet to its culmination. I was asked about the difference between review and appeal. So another question was about the difference between Article 32 and 226, difference between Article 141 and 142. There was one question about the position in Middle East and what is my opinion on the position in Middle East. Then, sir, so in my CV, in the DAF that I had filled, there was a mention of Domestic Violence Act. There was one paper I had written on the same. So the honorable member also questioned me on the Domestic Violence Act, and how the Domestic Violence Act is different from 498A. It is being misused. So what are your views about the misuse of Domestic Violence Act? Then, sir, the honorable member took me from the concept of maintenance under Domestic Violence Act to maintenance under 125 CRPC, then to maintenance under the Hindu law. What is the difference? And then they framed few factual questions on the same, and that's more or less about the maintenance part. Sir, apart from that, there were other questions like, what will you do to reduce the pendency in courts? There was another question about how will you reduce the fear that people have of courts and judges. So some, and some personal questions like, how will you stay in HP? Itne cold weather mein, how will you be able to manage? So
They,
these were
they,
some of the questions that they asked
they
me.
use they used to ask this question from all the candidates who are from outside Himachal. This
Yes.
is this is one very basic question to every candidate who is there in the interview, like how you are going to stay in Himachal. It is very cold weather and all. So anyhow, this is all the things. I hope that everyone is clear with the basic things, like how the preparations are required to be done, what not to be done, और अगर कुछ कर रहे हो गलतियां कर रहे हो तो उसको कैसे ठीक करना है. So everyone got that broader clarification. Okay, so Paras, now we welcome you in Himachal, and you are there as a civil judge. We don't know where you will be getting the posting, but yes, during your trainings you will be there in Shimla, and after that you will be posted. You have to perform for whatever you were working since very long, and whatever that basic thing, na, that why I want to be a judge. That is,
Yes, sir.
now
Yes,
I am a judge and I have to do that thing जो मैं
yes,
पहले
sir.
सोच रही थी, तो वो अब करना है. ठीक है. A very warm wishes from all the family of A Plus Law Academy, and all the aspirants who are directly or indirectly joined with us, जो आपके साथ YouTube पे आपको सुनते हैं या otherwise भी. तो it is I believe that you are a role model now. ठीक है, because आपने एक तो अपने आप तैयारी करनी शुरू की, and you opted different things like okay ये भी करना है, यहाँ से भी प्रिपरेशन हो सकती है, ये वाली बुक्स इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, एंड यू मेड योर ओन स्केड्यूल, एवरीथिंग. और ये एक बहुत अच्छा है कि जो बच्चा किसी गांव में बैठ के किसी टायर 2 टायर 3 लॉ कॉलेज में बैठ के अगर सोच रहा है कि मुझे जज बनना है या सेल्फ स्टडी से बनूंगा या नहीं बनूंगा, सो यू आर एन इंस्पिरेशन फॉर ऑल ऑफ सच पर्सन कि नहीं हो सकता है, हो
Thank you so
सकता है,
much. Thank you so much.
हो सकता है. Okay. So Paras, this is all. And any last words, if you want to have today, and everyone is giving you
Yes, sir.
wishes and
Yes, sir. I want to thank everyone who wished me here, and thank you, sir, for all the kind words. And so I just feel that, like, to all the aspirants, I just want to say this one thing, that, you have made up your mind that you want to be a judicial officer. So just give it your all, give it your 100%. Like, any possible thing that you can do to be a judicial officer, कुछ भी कर सकते हो, extra hours डाल सकते हो, essays practice कर सकते हो, translation practice कर सकते हो, whatever you can do, just give it your 100%, and we should have no regrets in our mind that, we could have done this thing, or we should have focused on this area more. So my only, suggestion, or the last few words would be, just give it your 100%, and you all will certainly be judicial officers. I'm very sure about that.
okay. So this is all for today's session, and this was the online session. So you people now know Paras, and whenever Paras will come in Himachal, you are openly invited from us. That whenever you will come, you have to reach to us, or we will be reaching to you if you are having any time constraints. Okay. So okay, so
Yes, sir.
Paras, we are now concluding this session, and thank you so much for taking this time for all the aspirants, and thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, sir, and it's my pleasure to interact with everyone.
Okay, okay. Take care and
Thank
all the
you.
best. All the best, and congratulate to your parents
Yes,
from my
sir.
side as well for your
I
great
hope.
success.
Yes.
Thank you, Paras. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.